all, my name is Christopher Cutter. I have my degree in mechanical engineering technology. I received a degree in 2012. And the reason I ended up getting into the mechanical engineering technology section opposed to mechanical engineering really was because of the way I was brought up. If you speak to any engineer student or first year engineer, and you ask them why they want to be an engineer, it's usually the same kind of story, like destroy stuff, tinker, and play with things like that. I was no exception. Throughout K through 12, very good in math and science, but I was also one of those kids who needed recess. I didn't want a recess, I needed it. As a result, I couldn't really fit into a program that was strictly sitting down. And as a result, in high school, I ended up going into a shop, woodworking shop. And this was one of the last times they had this course, not because of anything I did, but just it slowly phased out. But I found myself very, very interested in the hands-on aspect, working the wood, bandsaws, all that good stuff, sharp, powerful tools. Ooh. And as a result, our professor, or the teacher at the time, he spoke about the local engineering schools. I'm from Georgia, so it was Georgia Tech. And the other school that was there was Southern Polytechnic State University. And this is where you can get the technology side of things. And the teacher that I had was a very upfront kind of guy. He looked at the course, he looked at the classes and said, out of the students in here, I don't think any of you are going to get in Georgia Tech. Flat out, you can't do it. Reason being, it's because you like shop. You like shop, the theory is going to kill you. And, you know, when someone tells you you can't do anything, me being personally, someone tells you I can't do anything, it's a bit of a pill to swallow. But I kind of took his wisdom, and I did enjoy the hand-on aspects of things. And so he did end up recommending Southern Polytechnic. And upon going to the university, I went through the courses, and he was absolutely right. The best part of the university for me was the hands-on aspect, the welding machine shop, the design things. As I left the university, I ended up getting a position in the R&D facility that made flat-rolled aluminum called Molex. And this position, I actually got a taste of a little bit of both worlds. I was able to do some of the hands-on aspects as well as going into the design of things. And this university, this R&D facility was actually somewhat unique. As you heard today, a lot of careers don't really designate the difference between a technologist, a technician, and an engineer. Well, this place actually had all three. Despite the fact I had an engineering technology degree, I was still an engineer. I guess the reason being is I have, I'm not sure if everyone's aware of a EIT, engineering and training. Basically, it's the first test you take in order to get your professional engineering license. Well, when I started this position, I had that test already taken. And so I was, I guess, a little bit ahead of the curve. Needless to say, the technologists that were there that had the position weren't very happy with the fact that they were called technologists. And this was a common occurrence that I saw throughout the building. As an engineer, I had a bit of more information, a bit more credentials, I guess you would say, than my peers, but the technologists, that was a bad word. The technicians, they were typically individuals who had 20 plus years in the field. They didn't care what you called them, as long as you paid them. Because I understood that. But the technologists usually were students straight out of university, and they had engineering degrees, and that was a very, very strong feeling towards the word. I ended up staying at this position for about 4 years, and now I've actually moved to the Tampa, Florida area, working with the company Molex, as you see there. And at this position, what I am is mostly a design engineer. There is no distinction. If I can go to them today and ask them what a technologist is, and they would have no idea. Currently, with the position I'm at, I am the only mechanical engineer there. Everyone else is either process engineer, industrial engineer, and a lot of technicians that test some of the components. What Molex does is they make electrical components, wire splices, and things like that. And as a result, because I am the only mechanical engineer there and my nature of not being able to sit still, I'm on the floor a lot as well. So as you heard a little bit earlier, Catherine was speaking about those engineers who are on the floor and being able to interact with technologists and things of that nature. Well, that's me. I'm one of those guys who would work more with the prima donna technologists and prima donna technicians on their equipment and basically bringing that together. I enjoy the design aspect of things. It's very fulfilling. I have my concentration is in graphic engineering design, but if I don't leave that place without some dirt on my hands, I'm not happy. But that's generally my perspective. It's not something that everyone shares. All in all, the degree that I received and the education I received was very, very useful for the way I learn, the way I interact. If you could compare my experience with a lot of my colleagues and co-workers and even students that have the same degree as me, it's not the same. The notion of what an engineer as opposed to technologist can be differentiated both in salary, how you're treated by your co-workers, and even the way you see yourself as an employee of that company. One such experience, is once I entered the company before as a technology, as my degree being what it was and not being from Georgia Tech, there was initially some friction between the two of us. The notion that I was a bit lesser considering I had a technology degree. But when I asked him how to turn a wrench and he couldn't answer, I won the argument. So that's pretty much the difference you would get between the two categories. Thank you.